Trade Minister Steve Ciobo says Australia will pursue an EU free trade deal ahead of one with the UK. The Prime Minister, Trade Minister and Foreign Minister toured China, Berlin, Brussels and London, spruiking Australia's economic strength and historical ties with the UK and EU, pressing the flesh and outlining what future free trade deals might look like. And their timing couldn't be better, with many in the UK ready to pounce on suggestions of what Britain's economic future could be in. The ideas vacuum surrounding the Brexit vote. News that the two countries would start scoping a deal made headlines in the UK, with suggestions the country could become awash with cheap Aussie wine and beer. Politicians described it as a win-win for two historically aligned countries both looking for a friendly face. Australia loves a trade deal, especially a free trade deal, wrote Daniel Hatch in The Telegraph about the way leaders Malcolm Turnbull and Theresa May virtually sprinted into each other's arms at the G20 in China. Who better to clinch a trade deal with than family? Who better to go into business with than a country with which we have so much shared history, shared culture, and so deep an affection that we occasionally let them win the Ashes? He wrote. And what better way for Britain to apologise for so callously cutting off fraternal ties back in 1973 in favour of the troublesome tart Europe? What better way to make up for abandoning your little brother in favour of fish quotas, straight bananas and eggs by the kilo? But while cementing the relationship worth $12 billion annually is a no-brainer for Aussies, others are less convinced the UK will get such a good deal out of a far-flung friend. Self-described bitter Remain voter and columnist Richard Godwin described the lauding of a potential FTA with Australia as having a queasy note of imperial nostalgia about it. Australia will do us a trade deal from 10,000 miles away. And Boris Johnson has been chatting to the Saudis and they're well up for more British weaponry to uphold their abhorrent misogynocracy. But when your BFFs are a backwards hellhole in Saudi Arabia, you can't help but feel diminished. Plus I'm worried my joke will derail the critical Australia deal, he wrote in the Evening Standard, citing a recent poll that found 46% of British people feel their country's international standing has diminished since the vote. Commonwealth trade is worth an estimated 9% of British imports and exports compared to 44% for the European Union. The self-described bitter Remain voter said the notion that the Commonwealth can make up for an open trading relationship with the EU strikes him as straw-clutching from Brexiteers. It sort of exasperated me that there are so many media outlets and vested interests that are so keen to make Brexit work and make it a success that the merest glimmer of success is placed in this megaphone. People are amazed Australia will trade with us, he said. Quote, "We hear the UK will be flooded with cheap Aussie wine because our terms will be so favourable that we'll all be drinking Grange. But when you look down into the details that we might get 10 pence off a bottle in 2025, there is a real patronising arrogance that Britain is very important to these countries. I have the feeling the rest of the world is a bit confused and fed up with us and wants us to get our sh*t together." Australia's Foreign Minister Julie Bishop and Defence Minister Marise Payne will meet with their UK counterparts in London on Friday.